this is Shannon Tidwell back again with another product you love every which way. This month we are going to be covering stamps, and I'll be using the stamps in scrapbook pages. So hopefully these will give you a few new ideas to use on your pages as well. The first one that I'm going to cover is actually using the spritz. Some of the sprays, I use the Studio Calico sprays, but you could use any of the other brands too. And I sprayed it right on, this isn't the stamp I used, but just an example. I sprayed it right on to the rubber and then put it down and stamped it. So you can see that it's a pretty wet stamp, but I liked it because the colors layered really well and it gave it a muted look, which worked with the colors in this layout. So just my only tip whenever you're spraying them, just like when you use the spritz on your pages, it helps if you put your stamp down in a box or something so that you don't get spray all over the place and make it a huge mess. But after I sprayed it, I just washed it off and sprayed another color and used it, and the stamp came pretty clean, so don't worry about that. But anyway, that's what I did with this layout. You can see that I did a few different colors. I did white, and then some dark gray, and then also really lightly you can see that there's a cream here too. So, and they all kind of mesh well with the colors used on the background and the embellishments. So that's the first layout of the class. On this second layout, what I did was I used one stamp and created basically the embellishment for the page for it. Using it, I used that stamp on several different sheets of pattern paper. So I used the same image and just got a stack of pattern papers that I liked. You can see they're mostly polka dots and stripes, just real bold colors, not too busy of backgrounds, and stamped it with black ink and then trimmed around the image with scissors on each one. So I think I did like 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so I did 9 different ones, but I mean you could do more or less, and I just adhered them in. I kind of fluffed them up a little bit to give them a little bit more dimension. So the one stamp created this whole embellishment, the main embellishment for the page, and so I just used it with pattern paper, so it kept it pretty simple. And then here we have the third layout, which is the technique that I'm going to show you. I actually stamped this image right here on white cardstock with Versamark ink, this ink, and then I used multiple colors of embossing powder and then embossed it. So it kind of gave it a tie-dye look on there. You can see this page where the other one we went from being all pattern paper used with the stamp. This one actually has just a tiny, tiny bit of pattern paper. So the stamped image is actually, I kind of made a pattern paper out of the stamped image and used that for my the main base of my layout. So why don't we go ahead and get started, and I'll show you how to do this multicolored stamped embossed image. Alright, now I'm going to show you the technique that I used to make this kind of tie-dye looking pattern here with the wood grain stamp and embossing powders on white cardstock. I used this clear Studio Calico stamp. You could also use, this one's a Hero Arts wood grain pattern, nice background pattern, but you can use any kind of large background stamp. You would be able to get the same effect. But I'm going to show you how I did this quick. First I'm just covering the stamp as best I can with the Versamark ink. And then I'm going to place it down. And give it a good push. Okay. Repeat. To kind of lift this up and look as to where my edge was. You could use a pencil, would probably be easier, but I like to to do it the hard way. And I'm just going to do one more image after this. This will be the last one that I do because my layout actually trimmed this paper down, so I didn't have to do a partial. So now that I've got it, I've got the embossing powders, and I'm going to just sprinkle it on in a couple different spots. Being careful to only kind of get it where I want it to be. When you tap it off, just make sure you kind of tap it towards the edge so that you don't get more than you planned on. I'm just going to pick it up with my fingers, it'll be easier. Okay, that's probably enough pink. Do some green. And then some blue. And you can see this doesn't have to be perfect. It's just kind of make it up as you go along where you want your colors. Some blue over here. Let's see if I need some orange. And I'm going to make that go this way. And let's do maybe a little more green. I guess my fingerprints have made a mess on here, but it won't matter because I'm trimming that down anyway. So now we just want to heat it up so it sets. You can kind of brush this away whenever it's before it's. Brush that where it rubbed. And then I'm just going to use this heater. Gun and heat it up. So then what I did is just trim it down to fit on the page where I wanted it. And I trimmed it down and used it just as the pattern paper on the page. So that is how I did it, and you could do that same technique with any kind of stamp and make them multicolored with the embossing powders. Thanks for playing along with this little adventure of products you love every which way. Have a great August. Bye.